Okay, it's been 2 weeks since the last garden video that I did, Austin Gardening. This is some transplants of some basil. Mary put it in a pot. Her zinnias, her gardenias, gladiolas and tiger lilies. More gladiolas. Roses, she's been having trouble with roses here. They get hit with black spots so bad. And sunflowers, she loves sunflowers. Anyway, this was a video about the vegetable garden, and here we are. These peppers I picked up 2 weeks ago when I made that video. I went to Waller, and it was a flat of 36 plants that ended up being like around almost 50 plants, because a lot of the little planter sections in the flat was 2 or more plants. So, but they're doing great. These are red and green bell peppers, and we had a torrential rainfall come that weekend. When I got back, actually it was that week. Anyway, it was so much water that the furrows of greens that I had planted in here are gone, except for the radishes. Somehow they got a taproot from hell and they held fast, and they stayed. They are not dead, all of them. A lot of them survived, but all the green furrows are gone. This was actually a ditch up here at the very mouth of it. Was about nearly 1.5 feet deep, 18 inches or so, and this furrow was completely wiped out, nothing, and the turnips was completely wiped out. But I did all the repairs, so the garden's now back. The flat is back the way it's supposed to be. These are the tomatoes that we brutally transplanted, bare root transplantings. There was no way around it. Each plot that I had in the mulch pile garden had 6 plants to 5 plants, and we just took them out one night, bare root planted over here, and saved as many as we could. I just can't kill plants. And neither can Mary. She can't kill plants. So here they are. They're thriving. They're doing well, making flowers. They're going to be putting fruit on pretty soon. Everything's been hit with triple 13. The old triple 13 seems to work for everybody. This little tomato, whatever and why ever I didn't water it, I don't know why, but the next day we seen it and it was wilted. Looked like it was about gone, but we threw water on it and it's grew these little sprouts out the side of the stalk that still survived. So we're just letting it go. It's an experiment. We'll just see. These peppers here are some of the peppers that they were extra plants. I brutally ripped them out of the container they were in from the main plant and planted them, and they're still making it. This one here is having a tougher time. But red and green tomatoes. These hills were the cantaloupe hills. The cantaloupe hills are doing well. These 5 hills here are possibly GMO cantaloupe, because we had the seeds and I didn't have enough seeds to complete this row. So I went on ahead and used those seeds and they grew. They really grew. And they're doing fine. These are non-GMO, and they're very healthy, doing well. 2 weeks old, or 2 weeks since the planting. Heirloom seeds. So everything's pretty much heirloom except for what I say is GMO, because I know for sure it's a GMO, and hopefully what I was told was heirloom is heirloom. This is basil, brutal transplanting, bare root transplanting we had to do. There had to be 40 to 50 plants, little to big basil plants. There's one of the bigger ones, and there's two of the other big ones that we left in the pot. We actually bare root transplanted those back in the pot, and they seem to be doing well. We topped every one of them out because of the root structure that was lost, and they seem to be doing okay. They made it through the first day of brutal Texas sun, so we're just going to see how they do. As we progress down the row, of course, the plants get smaller and smaller because there were many different size plants in that one pot. Like I said, 40 to 50 plants in one pot. Now here's the thing that has blown us away. We don't understand. This is black-eyed peas. We couldn't find a single black-eyed pea seed to plant anywhere, and we've got 3 different hardware stores. We've got Walmart and 2 different grocery stores that sell seeds, and none of them had black-eyed pea seeds. So we got a package of black-eyed peas, took some of the seeds out, didn't make black-eyed peas out of them. We planted them. And I'll guarantee you that these are GMO, because I asked the produce guy at HEB how much of the produce is GMO, and he said at least 90%. At least 90% is GMO, possibly more. So this package of seeds that we got, or a package of black-eyed peas, food, that we use the seeds, the food, to plant these plants, this is what we got. These plants are exhibiting nitrogen deficiency, iron deficiency. There's no chlorophyll in the second set and third set of leaves it's putting out. Basically, the baby leaves that the plant had when it grew, that's all it's got. That's the chlorophyll. This is wrong. We should not be having plants that do this. I don't know what the long-term implications are for all of us having to consume something like this. I don't know. Man, come on. Anyway, we hit it with some triple 13. We're hoping that it's going to help. This seems to show some improvement in the veins, if you see. The veins are starting to green up. So maybe they'll make it. And I'll keep everyone updated on that. It's hard to say. It's an experiment. We'll see. But it's kind of funny we couldn't buy any black-eyed pea seeds. What's up with that? So there's the green beans. they're doing great. They're huge from when I took this video 2 weeks ago. The video from 2 weeks ago. They're doing very well. The okra, doing very well. We had to do a brutal bare root transplanting with the okra as well, because a lot of them died and they exhibited this kind of stuff. We're thinking some sort of an insect may have gotten to them. It is a hibiscus strain of plant, so no telling. A lot of things love hibiscus and eat them, but we lost a bunch of them and we just transplanted what we could. Each hill had about 2 to 3 okra plants in it, and if we had hills where there were 2 or more okra plants, we went on ahead and did a bare root transplanting over here. So that was a bare root, that was a bare root, that was a bare root. Some are thriving, some aren't. This one didn't have to do a bare root, nor that one. It's doing very well. You can see how big it is compared to all the rest. But they're coming back. They survived the bare root transplanting. They're just stunted, but they're going to make it. So we'll have a full row of okra, except for the one poor little deformed plant. Now, these are green beans. We hit it hard with some fertilizer, and I may have hit it a little too hard, actually. So it got some burn, fertilizer burn. I was just messing around, experimenting, you know, the amount of fertilizer that could be applied, and well, they've grown crazy. They've really grown a lot, but it was just too much too soon. But it looks like they'll recover. The corn, of course, I don't like really growing corn, but I wanted to try it. It's fresh corn. It's starting to tassel out already, as you can see over here. This section of this first row, these are successive plantings. This is the first row I planted. It's tasseling out. It's doing well. Yeah, well, if I grow corn ever again, it won't be in the vegetable garden. It'll be in a field all by itself, and I won't mess with it. As you can see, some of the corn got fertilizer burn. There's one over there, and then this leaf exhibits the burn, and then there's a little bit of burn right here. Yeah, you know, triple 13 is good stuff, but because corn has a funneling type excuse me, leaf structure, if you accidentally get a couple grains of that fertilizer down that shoot, that plant's going to be a goner like this one. It just couldn't do it. Its roots still here. It's like, oh, I'm gonna try to grow. There it is. Trying to put up a shoot. Anyway, corn's doing great. This is turning out to be a longer video than I wanted. I just wanted to show that the garden has thrived in 2 weeks. I just can't believe the difference from the last video. Here are 2 little basils. They were left on the ground. I just seen them laying there. You know, I was like, oh, well, I'll stick them in some dirt. And they survived the day, so it looks like they'll probably make it. There's one of those GMO watermelons I was talking about. Another one coming up. I don't know how old that seed is, but when I turned everything over, it came up along with a lot of this watermelon here. And squash, which we thought at first it was hoping was cantaloupe. but it turned out to be butternut squash. And I remember we cooked some butternut squash with a recipe to try. It was cinnamon and brown sugar, and you bake it. You cut it in half, take the seeds out, cinnamon and brown sugar, and it's really good. And I found out some things about it because I was trying to identify what type of cantaloupe it was. I was like, oh, well, it's not cantaloupe, it's butternut squash. Then I remembered about our experiment cooking. But butternut squash is what they call a winter squash. And it's like pumpkins and other winter squashes that you can leave in the garden until the first frost. Or actually, you're supposed to take it out before the first frost. And basically what they've done, and you have to roll them over during this curing period during the fall, and they develop this wax coating on the outside, and you can keep these things through the winter, and you eat them throughout the winter. And as the winter progresses, their flavor gets better. They actually get sweeter, and you can make some really delicious meals out of this stuff. So, what if it is GMO? I hope not, but it's probably GMO, just like a lot of the watermelon here. I'll keep the seeds, and we'll plant from seed again. One thing for sure, they're definitely bug resistant, and they are thriving. They're growing like crazy. With no fertilization over here. This was a mulch pile, a huge mulch pile, and they've got just about everything they need right here. More peppers. Just stuck them over here. Just ran out of room. Just stuck them over here. These are the celebrity tomatoes. They're going nuts. Look how huge they are compared to the last video. They're huge. Full of tomatoes, baby tomatoes. Watermelons and squash are competing for space. They're just going nuts on this side of the garden, growing towards the setting sun. I had to move some of the leaves out of the way. You can see that one, I bent it over, and I did the same with that one because it was shading out the pepper plant. So the leaf still works, it's just brutally bent out of the way. Had to be. So, tomatoes, butternut squash, and watermelon over on this side of the world, doing well. And there's one. It's one of the first big ones that came out. And we'll probably be eating that one soon. And here are the tomatoes. These were also a brutal bare root transplanting as well. And not only did they survive, but since this is where I got all of the plants from, these 4 plots, these have actually thrived even more, because as soon as I took them out, they went back in the dirt, and these were the biggest, most healthiest out of whatever plot I took them out of. That one, the one that I originally had there, died, and that was a little one that we didn't have any space in the garden for it in the row that we planted them in, so we just put it in a pot and it grew. And then when the one that was here died, it would have been as big as these. We put that little fella there, and it's thriving as well. It's doing very good. The okra, again over here, brutal bare root transplantings on a lot of these because a lot of it died. Whatever the bug was that got to them, we just put a new plant in its place where it died. So it's got a new plant there, bare root transplanting. That one, of course, we didn't have to do that to, and we didn't have to do it to that one. I did get some fertilizer burn because I fertilized some things over here on the edge of this garden. It wasn't a mulch pile. It was just grass and dirt. So the okra got some fertilizer. There's an okra. It kind of blends right in with the butternut squash, doesn't it? And this is a long video. It's almost 20 minutes, so I'm just going to end it right here. Everything is lush and growing, doing well. And thanks for watching. If you like it, give it a thumbs up.